Batman is now 80 years old. The Detective Comics issue came out in May of 1939, but officially his anniversary is March 30th, 1939. And in 2019, he turns 80 years old. He was created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. He has gone through a variety of transformations in the comics through the numerous decades, having movie serials, transitioning to television with the colorful 60s of Adam West and Burt Ward. Then creators of Neal Adams, Denny O'Neil bring him back to his darker roots before he returns with Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns onto Tim Burton's Batman, showing us the way he's meant to be. The films go through a variety of transformations, much like the comics, going from dark to light, back to dark, and more grounded. But above all, Batman has withstanded the test of time. He can be the hero that we all need. He can change with the times. That's what makes him special. And above all, he is just a man. And it shows us what can happen when a man pushes himself to his fullest potential. Whether it be comics, television, film, or animation, Batman has transformed throughout time. And each and every one of us has a special Batman in our hearts. As you may know, I'm a Batman fan, and I can't believe he's 80 years old, but I think that's what makes him stand the test of time. He's not Superman, he's not Wonder Woman. Sure, he has a lot of resources, but he's also a brilliant scientist. He pushes his body and mind, but also he can change with the times. Batman's one of the few heroes, even though I like the darker versions more personally, he can go from being light for kids, for teenagers, for adults, and all those versions of Batman stay true to the character. They all work. And you can't say that very much with other superheroes. You can't make Spider-Man dark. Doesn't work. Batman can be dark and light. And he's one of the few heroes that can do that, and I think that's why he stood the test of time. He's gone through so many reinventions that now every reinvention is part of the mythos. We have video games, animation. Whether you're Batman's Kevin Conroy, Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney even, Adam West, Christian Bale, or Ben Affleck, Batman has a special place in everyone's hearts. I think he has the best rogues gallery, the best mythology. He's the best superhero, I think, over anything else in DC or Marvel Comics. But for me personally, my introduction of Batman was in the early 90s. My brother actually showed me his VHS of Batman 1989, and I used to watch Barney as a kid, and he got tired of me watching Barney, so he showed me the Tim Burton Batman, and that was my introduction to Batman. I grew up with Michael Keaton's Batman on VHS, and I later saw the Fox Kids show of Batman the Animated Series. That's what introduced me to the world of Batman. Batman Forever was the first film I saw in theaters that was Batman. I loved it. I dressed as Batman for Halloween, whether it was an animated series outfit or Batman Forever. I've been a Batman fan ever since, to this day of making this video. And proudly, my niece is also a Batman fan. I joke with her in the Lego Batman voice over the phone, and then when she sees me in person, she's like, "You're not Batman." She's like, "I'm Batman." But yeah, it's all my brother's fault that I'm a Batman fan, and I must say, he's a character near and dear to my heart. I love those films. Even as a kid, Batman and Robin felt off, but there was a long 8 years where we didn't have any Batman. So after that, I got all the merchandise I could find when Batman Begins came out. And as you can see, Batman is my life. There's Star Wars, there's films, there's pizza, and then there's Batman. Batman is such an integral part of my life. I can't imagine my world without Batman. You know, Batman has a special place in everyone's hearts. Whoever's a fan of Batman, just something about the emblem, something about his characteristics, something about having a dual identity. Driving an awesome Batmobile. All the Batmobiles are amazing. The gadgets, the Batwing. Who could forget Danny Elfman's score, Hans Zimmer's, Elliot Goldenthal? Everybody has a different Batman, and I love that. I just love how everybody can kind of fight over which Batman is their best, most definitive version of Batman. And for me, out of animation and live action, I would say Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill are my top Joker and Batman. But as far as live action, I really love Christian Bale. It'd be Christian Bale, Michael Keaton, and Ben Affleck, but I think Val Kilmer is a highly underrated Batman. He's the first Batman Bruce Wayne to be working at Wayne Enterprises as CEO. We actually get to see that. We actually got to see Arkham Asylum. He actually looked fit for the role, and Bob Kane at the time thought he was the best incarnation. It's just a shame that he wasn't alive long enough to see the Christopher Nolan trilogy. And it shows us that a trilogy can be grounded, can elevate the genre to something more, be more than comic books, just be a good film, period. I love everything Batman. And on this 80th anniversary, I just want to reflect on my love of Batman. I don't know about anybody else out there, but it's one of the few characters that has so many stories, so many characters, whether it be the Robins of like Richard Grayson, Jason Todd, Timothy Drake. You have the spoiler, Cassandra Cain Batgirl, Barbara Gordon Batgirl before becoming Oracle. I love Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon's romance. That's one of my favorite relationships in comics. I wish it was brought onto film or even television. And Batman, I just love that whole tale of him basically training his body and mind and coming back to fight crime. I love how his origin involves his parents getting gunned down, and he swears to have vengeance to punish those who basically try the same thing, you know. He wants to stop what happened to his parents from happening to anybody else, and I love that. Batman is a character that is near and dear to my heart, and yeah, even my closest friends call me the Dark Knight from time to time. I know, a little strange, but I'm that much into Batman. I just love Batman. Maybe a little bit obsessively, too much. I'm a Batmaniac, so to speak, but yeah. My favorite stories would probably be Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns, Batman Year One, Batman Hush. I love the Killing Joke graphic novel. I also like Bruce Wayne Murderer and the Fugitive storylines. Nightfall is awesome. Even the Telltale series is very well done. The Arkham video games, oh my god, those are amazing. They need to make a movie that's a mixture between Tim Burton and that. But despite his transitions, everything is Batman, and I have to appreciate it all, whether it be light or dark. Without certain incarnations and radical changes, we may have never had a definitive version of the character in other platforms. Without Batman and Robin, we may have never had the Dark Knight. Without Batman the Animated Series, we never may have seen his future legacy with Batman Beyond. Such a cool show. Even though I didn't like it at the time with Terry McGinnis and Bruce Wayne being old, it was ahead of its time, which led to Justice League on the cartoon. And then with video games, they had many failed attempts. You had Batman Vengeance, Rise of Sinzu, great underrated games of the animated series, but then they got bumped up to Arkham. That elevated the superhero genre forever. Gotham showed us you can have like an Elseworlds type of story. Batman is just amazing, and even though he took influence from Zorro, The Shadow, and other pulp heroes, there's a reason why he still stands strong at 80 years old. He's the hero we need and deserve. A silent guardian, a watchful protector, the Dark Knight. And I love Batman. Anyway, those are my brief thoughts on the 80th anniversary of the character. Feel free to share your memories of Batman. When did you first get introduced to the character? Who's your favorite Batman? Just let me know anything down in the comments below. Feel free to share your love of the Dark Knight. You can also follow me at Stardust at Fred Film Fanatic. And here's some more videos you can enjoy. I'm making a playlist of my best Batman videos, whether it be like the reviews, music tributes I make, fan trailers, stuff like that. You can check that out on the playlist. And here's some other videos you can check that are DC Batman related. Till next time, here's to 80 more years of Batman.